There we go.
Yeah.
Yo, what's going on, man?
Hello.
You're already muted too. I appreciate that.
Oh, I was as quick as I could be.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, welcome.
like
Go
it
ahead
better.
and yeah, it's awesome.
Hey, yeah, I'm Chris, and I do stand-up comedy. And again, gosh, I'm glad I watched Chief because he was spectacular.
Yeah, he was.
Really good stuff. So I also do freestyle rap. That is my thing, and I was blown away by his talent. Gosh.
Yeah.
So you said you do stand-up comedy. How long have you been doing that for?
I've been doing that since I was 19, so 10 years now, full time since 2013. Yes, that's how I make my living, which is a delightful way to do that.
See, yeah, because you have like this aura about you that makes me feel like I'm ready to like start giggling.
Right? Me
I
too.
know.
Like, I'm just like, you start talking, I'm just like, he's like about to say something funny.
Right.
I mean, one of the worst things about being a comedian is whenever you get into an Uber on the way to the show, go into this comedy club, who you seeing? And I'm the comedian, and they go, oh yeah, and then for the rest of the ride, I'm so painfully aware that I am not funny off stage. Like on stage, when I'm like, cool, here's my thing, I do it, laughs. But
Yeah.
like I was on a motorbike, like a motorbike limo, where if you're doing shows in London, the traffic's really bad, so they motorbike you around. And the guy riding me, they have a headset so you can like talk to them. He was like just listing all the famous comedians that were on his bike. He was like, I had Eddie Izzard on here. I had to pull over because he made me laugh so much I thought I'd crash. And I'm just there going, there is no danger of that with me. Yeah, but it's a super fun way to make a living, you know. I started in the UK. Now I'm in Los Angeles, so it's kind of brought me here.
Ooh.
Nice.
Okay. How long have you been in freestyling?
I've been freestyling since I was 12, so I mean, substantially longer than Chief.
Then
But
comedy.
yeah, oh yeah.
Well, yeah.
But I was like, when he's like, I've done this for 8 months, I was there going, that is
That's
unbelievable.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, insane.
Okay,
Really
so
insane.
what got you into freestyling and rapping?
So I was 12 years old. My best friend at my primary school, which I guess is like, I don't know what you guys call it in America, but we were like 11, 12, and he gave me the Marshall Mathers LP by Eminem, and I listened to it, and I thought that he made up all the rhymes. I didn't realize he wrote them. So I was listening to it going, this is insane. How can anyone be this quick? So I would start rapping along to beats, trying to make up rhymes like that. And then I'd listen to like Dre and Snoop and that kind of West Coast stuff. And then it was a few years before I realized that rap was written.
Oh, how heartbroken were you?
Well, I was kind of, some of your idols, you go, wait, okay. But what it meant was, and I do presentations with a Danish psychologist where I rap and he then describes the mechanisms behind it. And he talks about how not having the limitation, not knowing that, like, in my head, I was like, oh, you can't do this. Like, that's what most people start. They start a thing and they go, oh, I can only lift this much weight. But if you didn't know the record for bench pressing weights, then you'd never have a limit in your head. And so that's how he explains that I can do it, is that I kind of grew up never realizing there was a ceiling of how good you were meant to get, I guess.
Okay.
That's a really good way of like going into
Right?
anything, though.
Right. That was
Right?
Yeah, I mean, the world champion hot dog eater, at least the guy who broke the record, a guy called Takeru Kobayashi, he ate like 56 hot dogs at this contest. And before him, the record was 26. And they said, wait, how did you do this? How did you smash the record? And he just said, oh, I didn't know there was a record.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
If I was a
Wow.
previous record holder, I'd be in tears.
I'll be mad.
Right?
I'd be crushing it like
Hella
that. I
mad.
trained
Yeah.
for this and everything, and you just gonna come up here and be like, no
Yeah.
record?
I mean, the way he did it was he had a totally different method. And I think that's kind of like, I mean, specifically, he used to eat the hot dogs one by one and then like mush the bun into the water.
To the water.
then,
Yeah, I
I've
saw
seen
that.
Yeah.
that's
I
his
think
technique.
yeah.
It's soggy. Oh, no,
Yeah.
no.
But
Well,
I
it's
think
easier
that's
to
probably the
eat.
same with freestyling. Like, I would imagine anyone starting to freestyle now, knowing that like rap is written and written
Yeah.
rap will always be better than freestyle. You go about learning it a different way. Whereas because I was this very kind of corded off suburban white boy whose mum, every time she found me listening to rap, was just like, Christopher, this is not appropriate. I kind of grew up not really realizing it, and then started doing like performance poetry and things like that. And I only ever started rapping live when I started doing stand up, because I'd finish my shows by rapping.
Okay, I was going to ask you, do you blend the two in? But okay.
Yeah. So
That's cool.
a live show will be, say I'm doing like a 20-minute set, I'll do 15 minutes of jokes, and I'll talk about hip hop a lot, and people will go, huh, yeah, this guy, he's just making jokes. And then at the end, I take 5 words from the audience, and then I'll just go over a 3 or 4 minute beat, constructing one entire rap, and usually with like a comedic slant. So that's kind of like when I'm on my stream, rather than do like, and I can do it, it's fun, rather than be like, hey chat, just give loads of suggestions, I'll take a bunch of suggestions at the start, get a random beat, and then just go for 3 or 4 minutes on those few suggestions. And it's fun to kind of explore like a comedic world, if that makes sense. So if someone says, like Carmex lip balm, you can do 3 minutes on that. And if someone said, three-toed sloth, suddenly it's a rap about a three-toed sloth and Carmex lip balm and how that's going to work. So that's because I'm coming from the live aspect of it, where if you just get on stage in a comedy club and say I can freestyle, the audience would go, okay, why are you doing it? If you can make them laugh, then that's how it works best, I find.
So you said, okay, so you stream. So how long have you been involved with streaming?
So I did like my first one in July last year, and then didn't do any until October.
Yeah.
Did about a solid month of every day, and that was really fun. And like, I'm a comedian, I only work in the evening, so I would just find myself free hour in the day, get on Twitch and stream. And then I took about 3 months break for November, December, and January because I was on tour, and it was just too hard to, like, you're using hand baggage. I didn't want to take all my stuff with me.
Yeah.
So
all right,
I just got back into it now, and in the last week I think I've been on every day. But it felt so good to get back to it, because just flexing your mouth in the middle of the day.
Backup joke? So like, you've been doing comedy for a while. Do you have any jokes that you're like, okay, maybe if I bomb it, I'll have this as backup to maybe save the crowd?
Get out of my head, bro.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, I've been quiet. I'm trying to.
Me too.
Stuff,
like, I just had that 30 seconds took me to get. 2 minutes over here just sitting.
I know.
In my head, just waiting, and then you're gonna go and say it now. Back to the silence.
I know how you feel. I really do.
So I think my backup is usually the rap. Like, if I'm doing a show and they're not going for the jokes, I'll switch to the freestyling, because that usually will win them round. If it's in terms of jokes that I know are always going to kind of make them laughing, like, I make fun of myself a lot. Like, it's a very British way. So I do a joke about not having a chin. And any reference back to that, people are saying, like, we remember that. I'm in America. Any kind of, if you do a Trump joke, people go wild for it, especially out here in LA. Like,
well, check it out. So I have another comedian friend that's new to the Twitch community. He said at the comedy club he went to, they pretty much told him to throw out his list of jokes because they were referring to Trump.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have to balance it because people are sick of it. But I just walk on stage and I, like, one of my first things, because they know I'm British, and I just say, hey, I'm British, which, I'll answer the question you're all thinking. Yeah, I have a foreskin. And then people go like, what? And I'll go, I don't know why you guys like are circumcised. In my country, we keep them. But I've realized the reason you guys do it is you cut them off and you knit them together and make a president. And it works because people don't know it's a Trump joke until the end.
Oh my god!
Damn.
Thank you.
That was the best joke I've heard in a long ass time. It took me a second to
to get it, and then I was like, okay.
I have to pee on that.
Oh my god!
I love that he's genuinely gone to the bathroom.
Wow.
Lucky I went before, because I was already
Me too.
Oh my god, that was so good.
Oh, I'm glad I could bring you guys a giggle.
Wow.
Who do you look up to in, like, the comedy industry?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so many, and I
Like your
mean,
number one, like if you could just meet one person out of everybody, like they all standing in line, every comedian standing in line, and you only could pick out one to like go out and get some tips and meet, who would it be?
Like a one-on-one with
Yeah,
like
one on
private
one with.
lesson.
I think I would go for a one-on-one. It would either be Chris Rock or Jerry Seinfeld.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're Seinfeld's a brilliant writer, as is Chris, but like if you combined them in my head, they're the perfect comedian, because Chris Rock, I think, has the best delivery. Actually, I think if you combine them, you get Dave Chappelle, probably.
That's what I was
because
just about to
Hey,
say.
love
that's my
Dave
favorite.
Chappelle.
yeah, like you
Oh,
can't beat
yeah.
his delivery and you can't beat his thoughtfulness. The weird thing about comedy, it's so special, is you get to meet these people. I've not met them, but like I was a comedy club I was at a few months ago. Gerard Carmichael, who I find so funny, he was just on stage, and like, so he's in the dressing room and we chatted. He saw me perform and then like came up and spoke. Tonight, the show I'm doing, we're in the small room, but the main room, Aziz Ansari's doing 2 shows, so he'll be in the green room with us. So like that means you get to chat to him.
Yeah.
So that's like, comedy's wonderful for that, and I like that you get to meet your heroes. Like starting out in the UK, there were comedians I adored. A couple of years later, same lineup, and that always felt special, especially if they saw your set. Like it's such a big thing, and it's a thing I hope I wouldn't lose if I ever did become established. Is just watching a newer comedian or any type of performer. If like that performer sees you just kind of like leaning in the door to watch the show, like they feel like, oh, they took time out to see me, because
Mhm.
comedians, we spend every evening watching comedy, and it's really easy to get jaded. But most people become comedians because they're comedy fans, and you have to kind of make sure
And
you go
for
keep.
anyone looking to find his Twitch channel, he does stream on Twitch. I linked him in the chat.
Thank you kindly.
Oh, of course, we'll definitely plug your channel again. So let's ask a few more questions,
Sure.
and then we'll see what your rapping is like.
Mhm.
Because I know what it's like, but I know these guys need to discover you.
Okay, so you said you were what, 29?
Yeah, 29 years old. Yeah.
You do not look 29. So
Yeah, you don't.
Oh, that's very
Wait,
kind. I mean, unless you're
so-
about to say you look 35, you old.
Oh no, no,
thing.
no, 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 no. You look young for your age.
you look
for
very
sure.
young. I thought you were
Mhm.
like, honestly, I thought you were around like teenager to 20s.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very
like
flattering.
early 20s.
I
At
think
least like 25. 'Cause,
yeah, my hairline
I'm
will
the best
eventually
looking
give me
one.
away.
Yeah, I gotta give me come. Look, we got the same thing. You feel me? Like,
Yeah, nothing,
be in my
nothing
age.
going there.
Look, yeah.
It's one of the most surprising things whenever I so I'm married. I got married 6 months ago, and whenever I mention my wife, people just go, and they're trying to figure out, am I one of those weird people who gets married super young? And we've been together 5 years, and like a lot of us, we just kind of make a joke that we got married for the gifts. Like, if you're not married, get married. You get so many gifts. It's amazing. Like, it's wonderful.
How long into your career do you think you had, like, how long did it take you before you started getting like a foothold of like your comedy and like your niche of comedy?
Yeah, it's a good one, because like George Carlin said, he didn't get good till he was 51.
Mm-hmm.
And like, he's George Carlin. He's like one of the most legendary
Right.
comedians ever. I'm coming up on my 10-year anniversary this June, and I'm getting there. I still don't think I've reached where I want to be. And I think the biggest part has been how to mesh the rap and the stand up together, because I think rap wise, I've been doing it for longer, so I'm better at freestyle than I am at stand up. And it's then, how do you make a show about that? And I tour solo shows, so like shows that like specials essentially that are just me. And my first 5 were all just stand up with bits of rap in, and the new one I'm writing now is pretty much entirely rap with jokes, obviously. And the raps are, any written rap is funny, and then the freestyles are all funny as well. I feel like I'm kind of figuring it out. But yeah, they call it finding your voice in comedy.
Definitely.
And-
I'm glad that you were recommended to me, because we're growing a community all about that, giving anybody a platform to get their talent exposed. Like, they need people to see it.
Yeah,
So
I think that's
definitely,
so important because
yeah,
there's so many talented people, and it's like, how do you find them? So if you get a recommendation,
exactly.
then amplify. It's
Mhm.
it's a marvelous thing to do. Very
I got a
commendable.
question though.
Okay.
Mm.
I do too. After you.
Have you ever thought about like switching? Like instead of putting comedy first, have you ever thought about putting music first and see like if people would like your music and then after the music branch off back to comedy?
I I think that I have this fear that if I did that, you kind of age out of rap. I don't think you age out of comedy as much. Like if we look at rock, if we look at Chappelle and Seinfeld, they're in their 40s and they're still like titans of the comedy scene. And yeah, like young new comedians are exciting, but in rap it tends to be the other way around. It's the younger rappers that come through because it's about redefining the sound, whereas comedy is about perfecting it. Like, yeah, we have surreal comedy, physical comedy, but the reality is all comedy is based on a joke, whether that joke is physical or verbal. With rap, like it's kind of like poetry. There are people that say once you kind of age out of like your 20s, poetry, you suck at writing it because you don't feel the emotions as much. And I think, listen to a Jay-Z album from now compared to a Jay-Z album from 20 years ago. There's a huge difference in the hunger and the energy there. And some of that is down to success, but some of that is down to age as well. And what you gain in wisdom, experience, like lyrical vocabulary expansion, I think you do lose something. So that would be my main reason. Also, there are a ton of brilliant rappers who maybe do a little bit of, well, maybe not many who do comedy. I can only think like probably one of the guys that does rap really well and great at comedy.
Mhm.
But I feel that there's hardly anyone in the niche of a stand-up who raps freestyle.
Mhm.
So I kind of feel like I found this, and I kind of just want to then expand that so more people know about it.
Gotcha.
Okay, I get it now.
Okay. Whenever you started out, you said it's almost 10 years, right?
10 years for stand-up, yeah.
So whenever you first started, were you nervous, or you've always been like really open and like good in front of people?
Oh yeah, you're definitely nervous, and that's good because nerves are adrenaline. Like it's the fight or flight response. So that makes you sharper in the moment. And for freestyling, even like the adrenaline slows time down. So if you're doing a freestyle on stage in front of 1,000 people, then you're definitely nervous, and that helps you. I'd say it takes. I don't know. It was probably 5 years in, 6 years in when I got less nervous for stand up because I finally thought I can play any audience at that point.
Okay.
And that's probably youthful naivety because I'm sure there are, I did gigs where I struggled, tremendously. I did a gig for 1,300 people in the biggest room I've ever seen at lunchtime at Christmas. It was for advertising executives and they were all on cocaine and no one paid attention. Of course they didn't. Why would they?
Yeah.
But I know that a better comedian would have got their attention and killed it, whereas I was like, "Oh, just please pay attention." So, I was nervous then. And of course, like there are times when someone important in the audience, or like that happens in LA a lot. Someone will say, "Hey, do you know that this person's in?" And you feel immediately pressure goes from here to here because that gig, that one thing, it's very 8 Mile, very kind of one shot. So yeah, I still get nervous sometimes, but primarily no, because the best comedians are relaxed on stage, and it's hard to be relaxed if you're just.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm ready to hear some.
Yeah, I'm ready to hear it.
Wouldn't it be amazing if I sucked now? That would be so funny.
That'd be
Oh,
hilarious.
gosh.
At least you
Don't jinx yourself.
All right, so let me let the viewers know what's going on. Any new viewers that are popping in, basically, my channel is all about helping people get recognized on Twitch, or if you're just wanting to have a good time, we're interviewing for different Twitch shows. I know a lot of big streamers, a lot of small streamers. They all have their own thing going on. You can come on here, we can get to know you, and then I can vouch for you to get on other streams. Right now, we're interviewing for my rap competition tomorrow. So if you can rap, you can sing, you can beatbox, anything musical, do !join in the chat. The staff team will test your mic and cam, talk to you a little bit, and then we'll push you in the queue and you can come on here and just show us what you got. But for now, we have Chris Turner Comedy. He's going to give us a little preview of what he's got going on, and then you guys will see him tomorrow on the actual competition.
Lovely. So basically, you guys, you lovely interviewers, I'm going to take suggestions from you, just because I think that's the funnest. And then if we run out, we'll turn to chat. People in chat, if you ever watch me stream, I take them from the chat. But I think because we've got real live people I can see here, let's do them from you guys. And I always like to say, we take 5 suggestions, preferably no food and no animals, because they're kind of obvious and done. And I'll be honest with you. And if I've ever had that suggestion before, I will tell you, because I don't rap about the same thing twice.
Okay.
So nothing like everyone always comes on Twitch and says Fortnite or like, you know, PewDiePie. and it's like, that's done. So I like to keep it fresh. So yeah, if I get a word from each of you guys.
Clothes.
Clothes?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get a specific aspect of clothes, like
shirt.
A shirt. So clothes, specifically shirts.
Yeah, shirts.
Cool. Nice. I like it. So that's number 1.
Right.
No, let's think. Come on, guys. We gotta put our minds together. Come on.
I'm trying to think of something that would be like really easy to go with.
It doesn't have to be easy. It could be whatever. Jewelry.
Yeah.
And again, let's be more specific with that.
All right. So like chains, you know, like.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Like rapid chains. I like.
Yeah. Okay. That's 2,
okay.
right?
Shirts.
And then a doorknob.
a doorknob, magical.
That's 3.
The Eiffel Tower.
The Eiffel Tower, brilliant.
There you go. That's
Come on, Sam. It's your turn.
One more.
Come on, Sam. We need one, Sam. Come on.
M&Ms.
M&Ms.
You know, I got the M&Ms over here.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Or as the Romans call them, thousand and thousand.
Wait, thousands and thousands. I never heard that before.
I've never heard that. Ooh.
So that's a Roman numeral joke. So the Eiffel Tower, wrapping chains, doorknobs, shirts, and M&Ms, the candy, and cheddar. I just told you to pick a random beat, so this will be a freestyle made up about those things.
Okay.
Whatever you want me to go over, and if I forget one of them, just remind me. And
do you want like? All right, so there's 2 beats I always go to. Shook Ones by Mobb Deep. That's a real chill beat. You like that one?
I was freestyling over that in the stream yesterday, so let's maybe use a different one.
Okay.
A challenge?
So I'll DM this one. Actually, do you want a quick beat? Can you go on quick stuff?
I mean, I'm very happy to do that. Let's keep it more like in the 90s.
All right, here, I got you.
If you go too fast, it tends to get lost.
Got you. All right, so check your DMs. I know you're gonna play it on your mic. I sent you a YouTube link. I love this beat. Everybody in here has heard it, so we'll just see what's up.
That should take me a second to do that. DMs on Discord or on Twitch?
On Discord.
Okay. Okay, just make sure my laptop is not going to start coming out of that. Good. Sorry for the... Brilliant.
You're fine.
Yeah, no rush.
Cool.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Cool. This is a freestyle about shirts, about wrapping chains, doorknobs, the Eiffel Tower, and M&Ms. Let's have some fun. This is lovely, by the way. Okay. I know that no rapper in history has ever said this is lovely about a beat before. Okay. First rapper to say lovely about a beat before I'm in France. Eiffel Tower, feel the love, j'adore, that's how I translate it. I'm a bilingual guy, I see a temporary structure going straight to the sky. It wasn't meant to be permanent, they built it for exhibit. I do not mean the rapper, that guy. Exhibit, keep with it, exhibit. Got that rapper in my brain, he be rocking it, he got a damn thick gold chain. 18 carats like a allotment with the vegetables. I never have one, worn it on my chest, not at all. But if I did, that's my my goal. I rock 36, 72, 144 karat gold. It's impossible, you can't go more than 24. I got so many chains my neck can't handle anymore. I look at me, yeah, I'm walking out shops. I spend a lot of dust on necklace like my name, Rick Ross. He the master of chains, yeah, we got a big wad, thick wad. Knocking on his door, use his doorknob. Walking in, bring the crystal, bring the Vlove key K. When I get the doorknob, you know I like to say, this one, yeah, whipped like a pistol. A 1930s LA doorknob so crystal, but I prefer the ones that don't kiss ass. I put it up my rectum, got a doorknob up my ass. Very careful, you might get it stuck in the tube. You gotta slip it up there carefully, using that lube. KY jelly, so many doorknobs to buy. I get them from the vintage store that I live right by. That is true. Bed knobs and broomsticks like Angela Lansbury. Very good Disney movie Havature. I'm gonna make this. Just wait, like Ernie and Bert, ironing all my shirt straight. I frustrate anybody. Lamb like mutton. I wear a t-shirt so I'm showing no buttons. It's got a weird collar. That's what we do. Indian shirt collar style called Nehru. Nehru jacket, that's a mixtape that was done by Heems. He a rapper from Das Racist. I can't believe all those people that say they're on shore leave. When they're lying, they ain't got any medallions on their sleeve. What they doing? The last thing my jaws chewing. I need a crunchy candy, so I start bite through in all of those. Careful, we must discuss. I have to check it in advance because I'm allergic to peanuts. It's the yellow fellow, he's the main guy. If I have anaphylaxis, yes, I will die. So keep the M&Ms far away from me. I won't take any job in that factory. It comes in handy when my candy is in the refillable bag. Because I eat too many, I get fat and my skin sags. I'm putting on weight, say the least. I love M&Ms, but I'm getting too obese. Up, yep. Bring it straight from the brain. We did the Eiffel Tower doorknob, M&Ms in the chain, and the last one, although I'm feeling butthurt because it was probably the worst bit of the freestyle about shirt. There you go.
Oh shit!
That shit was
Perfect.
so good.
Oh, thank you.
That was good.
Y'all coming from underneath the ground out of
Right?
the woodworks. Like, y'all need to start uploading this stuff. Like, where's the videos?
Oh, yeah.
Man.
That's very kind of you. Thank you so much.
That was so good.
Thank you. I try and keep it fun. And yeah, I really appreciate the suggestions. It's if you want to check out live ones, I do on YouTube. I weekly live freestyles from shows.
Yeah, and
where,
I linked his channel in the chat. All of this will
you
be
very much.
re-uploaded to YouTube, so you guys can watch it whenever you want. I'm just waiting for a YouTube intro to be finished. This should be uploaded probably by tomorrow. We'll see what's going on with it. Like I said, if anyone can rap, sing, beatbox, exclamation point, join in the chat. Come get in here. We'll get your mic, your camera tested, and put you in the queue. Chris, that was fucking amazing, though.
That last line
yeah.
got
So
me.
good.
Bro.
Thank you very much. It was a delight to.
Yeah, don't forget, the actual show is tomorrow. This is just screening and interviews, so we've already had 2 amazing people.
Yeah, I want y'all two, the first 2 people to battle each other. That's the first one I want to see. I don't know. I want to see that.
One of the nicest things is when you do because freestyle's so collaborative, and basically you just get words and you each go on the word, and you're like you get different aspects of it. Like the way I would rap about M&Ms is different how someone else would rap about it. It's so fun.
Yep.
Don't forget, man. Tomorrow's show is gonna be so lit. Please,
It is.
please do not forget.
Oh, y'all
please,
tune
like,
in.
oh my gosh.
I'm excited.
So, you said you're only available for a few hours tomorrow.
Yeah. I have 3 shows tomorrow.
Oh, damn.
Shows. So
Alright, so I do it.
hopefully we can make it work.
Yeah, the thing is, alright, so I do this every weekend on Saturday. Sometimes it moves to Friday, but more than likely it'll be on Saturday night or afternoon. But the thing is, if you're killing it and you have to go, it's going to be hard choosing a winner because you were already winning and then you had to go. You didn't really lose. But we'll work with that tomorrow. Yeah,
and if it doesn't work tomorrow, we'll do it another time. And I'm online pretty much every day as well. So whenever people want to get their little fill of freestyle rap and comedy, they should stop by, and I'm always very grateful.
Yeah, if any new viewers out there want to drop a follow, I do this kind of content all the time. Like he said, he live raps all the time. Go check him out. He's also a comedian. Yeah, man. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, and thank you to Sam, Cody, and King. You guys were
Thank
wonderful,
you
wonderfully
for the
lovely people to
course.
chat to.
brother.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you for the bars, right?
Like,
No worries. Until
bars
next
on
time, guys,
bars.
have fun for the rest of your interviewing.
I
Have fun at
appreciate
the
it,
show.
man.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That was so good.
Right?
I literally,
Bro, I'm
I really
nervous.
thought he was gonna forget about the t-shirts, and then he threw that in at the last second. I was like, okay.
I almost peed like immediately after he said that Trump joke. 'Cause, like I was like, I just drank some water. I died. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta pee. So I like, hey,
That shit
Bro,
was
just-
good,
funny.
If that's the first two, imagine what we got coming up.
right?
I'm
Like,
excited.
huh?
Right?
I'm glad
Probably
those two weren't
good.
in the interview whenever I was interviewing, because I would have been nervous.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Fam,
Looks
how you
like,
just got M&Ms over there and you're not even eating them?
No kidding. But we got the
Shit,
next
I
guy,
mean,
Luther, coming in. Then
I
we
got
have
a little M&M slot machine.
then we have 3
What?
people after him. So, you know, it looks like someone from the chat just joined. So we got about 4 people left. Like I said,
Okay.
anyone can hop in here if you're talented or just want to have a good time and be interviewed. ! Join in the chat. We'll get you figured out. Now we're just waiting for this next guy to knock. You know,
Knock, knock.
the bar is set really high at this point,
Yeah,
so
it
we'll
is.
see.